Hi,
Hi,
sorry,
my
what's your
name
name?
I'm Chloe.
Hi,
Hi,
Chloe.
Chloe.
Hi, I'm with Brit and Co. And I first off, congratulations on a fantastic season. This is
Thanks.
so fun and heartfelt and I laughed, I smiled. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Um
What's funny is in the past, you guys hadn't been given the episodes prior to these questions. So we just
Right,
had someone before you that asked us
oh
questions
yeah.
about this season. Did you have a
right.
moment where
Yes.
you were like,
I like went, how
what?
does she
What?
know
How do
that?
you know it? How do
Because
you know it?
usually we're under a gag order
Yes.
to
And by the
not
way,
spoil
I
anything.
haven't seen what you've seen. So
Right.
I'm excited to hear what you think. So,
Oh, well, don't worry. I've made sure the questions weren't too spoiler filled.
oh, okay.
Okay,
No
great.
problem.
So I know that you've been with these characters for quite a few years by now, up until this point, and I'd love to know how they've inspired you and what you have learned from them as you kind of move into this final chapter.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start and
Yeah.
let Marin think, and then we'll
Yes. Thank
switch.
you. Yes.
Okay, because I saw her starting to think, and I
I
went,
was
okay,
like,
this is my pal. I'll go first.
thanks.
Okay, so I would say, for sure, what I have learned from Shirley is that she has a talent for being happy, and that's a talent that
Mm,
I think that's a real talent, and I don't think a lot of people have it. She really does cherish her life, no matter what comes at her or however it goes. Um, she is really delighted by the people she loves and the opportunity to love them. So I've definitely learned that from her because I'm just a malcontent by nature. Do you know what I mean?
That's
And
not
that's not true of
true.
Shirley in any
She's
way.
not a malcontent.
And the other thing that I have learned from Shirley is a kind of um, she has no self censorship, none whatsoever. She has no sense of boundaries, which I really love. And she just trusts that people are people and that we should all be very open and in each other's business. And I would like to do that, but we've all been brought up not to. So I like it that Shirley has no sense of boundaries. And I hope that my boundaries will grow and widen because of her.
I think maybe partially because I'm an actor, or maybe it was predating my actor choice. I think I lead with insecurity in my life. There's a lot of
mm,
like, is it okay? Did I
Right.
please somebody? Who have I hurt? I feel very sensitive about it. I think Rose is not quite the same way. I think if we even look at her impulse, like after she wasn't getting everyone's attention, to just be like, okay, I'm gone to Paris.
Right.
Who knows if you'll ever see me again?
Right.
And there's something in that, the idea of having the courage to change something in such a dramatic way and to not
mm.
worry so much about what the effect is on others. I mean, hopefully you're not really hurting others, but you're going after something that you feel like you really, really need. So
Which is interesting because all of Amy's women, we're both talking about the same thing, are brave.
yeah,
They are
yeah,
brave women.
yeah,
They have a kind of courage that we want to
yeah, the two of
like
us.
take with us
Yeah,
when we leave
yeah,
because they are not so concerned
yeah,
either
yeah.
with what other people think.
I mean, Amy's like this, frankly, and
That's
she's
right.
somebody that we've both like just watched with awe because there are so many, moments probably in her career as a writer in which things have been, she's been critiqued or what have you, and she just kind of goes, I mean, sorry to use like a four-letter word, but she's kind of a little bit like, fuck that. I'm doing
Yeah.
it this way because I believe
Right.
in it and I want to go for it.
Mm.
And that kind of sense that obviously her two leading characters of both Susie and Mitch have is something again, and Caroline's right, our characters have it too.
Right. And
And we
different
want
in
more.
very different ways and I think, that's one of the things that makes her truly one of our great artists.
Yeah.
And she is, speaking for women and look, you're so young and I have a daughter and I go, how come we're not improving this? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
I see her, make her way in the world and it's always about somebody else going first, making sure somebody else is happy before she makes herself happy. And I think that Amy's trying to change that narrative for all of us.
Yes, absolutely. I love that everyone on the show is so inspiring in a way that just transcends whatever time period Amy might be writing in. And
Right.
the other thing that I love about your characters is how larger than life they are and
Yeah.
how you kind of lean into whatever mom tropes have been in television in the past while also subverting them.
Oh,
And I'd love to know if there was any particular subplot or scene that really has stuck with you that you have filmed, whether it be obviously this season, you probably can't reveal too much, but in the
Right.
past, I know you mentioned Paris, Marin. I'm not sure if there was anything else that y'all have really taken with you.
Well, Caroline just brought up a line. What did you say Tony says in the first episode when he sees her daughter? He says,
When she goes, Joel is
yeah,
had an
leaving me.
affair, and
Yeah,
and we're splitting up, and Abe turns to her and goes, "What did you do?"
right. And what's funny is I was so scared of a kind of largeness. Like you just came up with something great. And I heard a quote the other day was something like reality is good, but interesting is better, in terms of like a director said
Yes.
that. And so
Oh,
I
yes.
think I always felt like I have to be an honest actor and I have to have like reactions to what's happening that feel very true, Marlon Brando-esque or something.
Right.
And the truth is that this has a bumped upness, so that like when we heard that our daughter had done this, it was like the world has actually fallen apart, and the kind of largeness of our response was encouraged by Amy. And as I shot the pilot, I think I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna look so large on screen. And then when you watch it, you go, no, this is Meredith. This is what is being
Mm,
called for in this style of piece. And your question
It
is
has
great.
style. It
Yes,
does.
it has
It
style,
has
and you have to
style.
embody
yeah.
that,
And there is
right?
truth. There's that, the great acting guru Stanislavski said, there's a difference between truth and uninteresting truth. And Amy always finds the interesting truth. And it is larger than life, but somehow larger than life points you to life in the most
Absolutely.
sense. That's why
Yes.
over the years I've learned to really, I felt the same way. You'd get scripts and I'd go, who would say that? What woman would do that to her adult son? Go in the room and go,
Yeah,
where are
it's
your
so
poo-poo
mean.
pants?
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's
Right.
30 years old and I'm thinking, how do I make this real in a sense where there, and what is real is the connection that both of these mothers have with their children.
Mm.
However they and we're both mothers, and I know that if I treated my children the way Shirley treats her children, I would get fired. That would be the end. That would be the end of my relationship with them.
Fired by your children. Yes.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. But somehow the truth of motherhood is manifest in such a
Mm,
big way that Maureen and I talk about all the time. Playing these mothers and being mothers is that Amy has nailed something very true in
mhm.
family relationships. These family relationships feel very familiar to people.
Definitely. And finally, I'd love to hear from both of you. The show touches on so many beautiful themes and balances this humor and these heartfelt themes in such a great way. And there's a lot of talk about second chances and family. What do you hope that viewers take away from the show when they finish the season?
What a good question.
I think what I hope people take away is that they have the courage to be the lone voice.
Mm,
Midge is a lone voice in our story. She is a woman that is trying to carve out a new path, and it takes a lot of guts. You have to
mm,
have a lot of guts to be the lone voice, but we need everyone's voice in this world, as we know, and we are now living in a time where voices are being shut down. And so I just feel like if people could watch this show and really have that commitment to being the lone voice. If nobody else is doing it or saying it, doesn't mean I can't. I think, we've gotten into such a herd mentality in our culture and in our society, and we need midges walking around as much as we can.
mm,
And you asked about the sort of the trajectory that Rose made, and I think that maybe I've taken away the idea that sort of the mores of one's time that one is living with. It's like throughout history, you have to like keep yourself open to the effect of change. I mean, I think about how your characters had to deal with pregnancy and other issues that are going on, and parts of what we never thought many years ago they were going to have to deal with. I had to deal with a daughter that's going out to do stand-up comedy, and somebody that,
And
at
it's
one point I would have
single.
called that's single and dating at night and not coming home and leaving our children with us and all sorts of things that
mhm.
never were to be. But you know what I think we can all in our real lives open up to? Life is like movement, and whatever we thought at one point had to be, like, let yourself crack open to what may end up being a new perspective. And you know, politically in this world, this is something we're dealing with every day. And I think that if one can look at this show as a time capsule, that like cracks were always happening, and we always let new possibility be there, and let's continue that.
Yes, I love that.
Women's stories need to be told. They are popular. And I think that and there are still so many untold ones. So I think that's one of the other things I'm hoping people will take away.
Yes, women's stories will never get old.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations again, and best
Thank
of
you
luck
so
with the rest of
much.
the show.
Thanks
Thank
so much.
you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.